companies like DuPont are doing an enormous amount of, and it's international, are doing an enormous amount of research on plastics. And the polyethylene bag is developed in the 1960s in Sweden, is designed in Sweden, and it's an ingenious design. If you flatten it out and look at it, it's simple. It can be used in a variety of ways. The handles can be crisscrossed. There's all kinds of things that you can do with the thing. So it starts to rapidly move into retail settings, and in Europe it replaces the traditional cotton shopping bag quite quickly. In the United States, plastic bags took a little bit longer to be accepted, and I can remember the great battle over paper versus plastic. Nowadays, plastic bags have won. The other thing I want to note quickly is that one of the things that makes this possible is container shipping. Container shipping makes it economical to make plastic bags or coffee cup lids or a lot of these disposable objects anywhere in the world, anywhere where you can find plastic beads, get plastic beads as raw stock. And then it's very, very cheap to ship them all over the world because of container shipping.
Mark, I still don't get why we don't keep on reusing them until they wear out, as they were originally intended to. I know you've done studies into coffee cups as well. Is it a similar story?
In order to reuse them in a shopping situation, you have to remember to bring them with you.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. But it turns out that that's just a step too far for most people. unless you're in a situation where if you go to the shops, there will not be a bag. And then you start to be trained by the disappointment having got there. So you've been turned away, you've had to carry your stuff in your hand. But actually, most shops are not strict like that. So they will actually sell you one. But that's the disaster in a way, because you've not brought one with you. You go to the shopping, they'll sell you another one. And so you just end up with more and more of them. And really, it's about people and humans being essentially lazy.
May I add one thing there?
Of course you may.
Well, the other thing that makes it difficult to get away from them in American grocery stores and other stores is that the way they have set up checkouts is they've designed them to support plastic bags. And so it's very difficult to bring your own bags, and the checker will get really mad at you because you've presented them with these bags that they don't have a place to put, right, to fill up with your stuff. So the whole system has been designed. You have all these design decisions that also make using recyclables extremely difficult.
I mean, there are, of course, compostable alternatives to polythene bags that are available, but they are much more expensive. Or is it actually the case that bags made from virgin feedstocks are kept artificially cheap? Jennifer, I find it odd that plastics, which are made from raw materials that are shipped and processed all over the place, are sold cheaper than a bag made from something grown locally, such as jute. What's going on?
Well, I think the actual cost of manufacturing these plastic bags is incredibly low. It's a penny. And shipping also super, super cheap. So it doesn't matter where they're being produced. You can get the beads across the ocean quite easily to whatever your destination is. When they're so cheap, and labor is quite cheap often also where it's being produced, it makes it very hard for these other alternatives to ultimately enter into the marketplace.
But aren't they kept artificially cheap? I mean, aren't they subsidised by governments?
There are subsidies for fossil fuel companies, but it's about the miracle of mass production in general. There are lots of things in your life that are so cheap that no one manually could make a pencil as cheaply, or a pen, or even a shirt. Mm-hmm. It's because of mass production. As soon as you can mass produce an object, and in the case of plastic bags, it's very fast mass production and very cheap mass production, then human labor almost never can compete. As long as the object is the same, right? As long as it's not bespoke to the person. But the downside is pollution.
From the messages that World Service listeners posted on our Facebook page and on the forum webpage, I learned how broad the spectrum is of items that people think of as single-use or disposable. We've had everything from artificial nails to Ziploc bags, medical syringes to sellotape, toothpaste tubes to drinking straws. But even within this rather fuzzy definition, it's clear that we now use many more of these items than our grandparents did. So where did they all come from? Catherine, we already heard about the paper cup from 1910 in your virtual museum. I think it's fair to say that it didn't catch on as a big business idea. But what was the next, or indeed the first, big disposable thing?
Boy, that's a really good question, because there's actually a couple things. One is that when paper becomes cheaper in the 1860s, when paper is now made with wood pulp, you start to get all these uses for paper that you didn't have before. And one of them is, and it's usually a multi-layered product, is men's collars. Shirts used to be made with, they were what we call a band collar, with buttons around it, and because people didn't do as much laundry and you were wearing a jacket, you would use a disposable collar, and that would make your shirt look clean because you would leave your jacket on, right?
That's incredible.
So you'd have this nice clean collar, and you just didn't want anybody to see the fact that it was sweaty and stinky and you'd spilled something down the front of it, right? And so that was a way to disguise that. So those became enormously popular early on among the sort of increasing numbers of middle-class office workers.
The white collars, obviously. They're white-collar workers.
It's the white collar. That's where the white-collar worker comes from, the idea of the white collar. So they were really important early disposable items. A lot of the early disposability has to do with changes in paper production, because paper is one of the first kind of basic products that goes from being expensive and difficult to find sometimes. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Bronte's teeny-weeny little children's books and how they had to recycle paper over and over. Paper was expensive because it was made from cotton rag.
Oh.
So what would happen is you would have a piece of clothing. It was made out of cotton. You'd wear it till it got disgusting, and then you'd turn it into household rags. And then from that, it would go to an individual who was a professional recycler, and he was the rag and bone man. He would collect your rags. He would also collect bones, and we can talk about, that's a whole other thing. He would collect this material and sell it to these people who would turn it into paper, rag paper. Well, when they figured out that they could make wood pulp paper, it made lots of things disposable in a way they hadn't been before, including newspaper, right? In fact, you couldn't keep them very long because they would fall apart because of the acid in the paper. So changes in paper manufacture really promoted the idea of disposability. It made books disposable, it made newspapers disposable, and lots of other objects as well.
Now, moving forward into the 20th century, it's often said that our throwaway culture really took off in the United States in the 1950s. If you look at Time magazine from 1955, you'll find a short photo essay called Throwaway Living, with the subtitle, Disposable Items Cut Down Household Chores. So, was this primarily aimed at housewives? Are women to blame, Catherine? That's what I need you to tell me.
I don't think women are wholly to blame, but I could tell you that they were grateful for having seen how their mothers worked and their grandmothers had to work, that they were really grateful to have paper towels and not have a collection of household rags that had to be laundered. I mean, it even gets as basic as, some of your listeners may find this distressing, but the rise of the sanitary napkin is a really important early disposable object, and it appears around World War I.
Oh, wow.
And it comes out of bandages that were created for wounds in the battlefield using cotton cellulose. One of the issues that before that is that women were having to collect rags and then launder them, stitch them into these things and then launder them. And it was a horrible, nasty, and embarrassing job. So women have been on the cutting edge of in favor of disposability for a long time.
Jennifer, do you want to add anything to this discussion?
Well, my other understanding with regards to throwaway living as a lifestyle approach was that it not only allowed us to make things easier, but it also helped people signal. So social signaling was an outcome of having extra stuff. It basically says we have enough money that we can throw away everything that we have bought with it. We're affluent, we're okay. We don't need to save things. We can waste. That's okay. So it's a different type of signal, I think, that people were making to others.
So it's basically a way of showing off.
Exactly.
Catherine?
One of the things that's happening is you've got people coming out of the Depression and then the Second World War, which was a massive international recycling efforts going on associated with the war effort. And people like my grandmother who never wanted to save anything. She had spent so many decades scrimping along that she became the apostle of tossing everything and buying all kinds of disposable things. And she didn't even want to fix furniture. She wanted to just put it out on the side of the road. She was done. And I think there were a lot of people who sort of felt like that. It was indeed also a relief, in a way, from decades of this kind of enforced scrimping.
There is no doubt that disposable items can save a lot of time and effort, and that in medical settings they are essential. But it's also hard to believe that even back in the 1950s, nobody was worried about the pollution that all of these single-use objects would create. By now, we are all familiar with the havoc that they are wreaking on marine environments and beyond. But what is less well known is that even disposing of trash in outer space from satellites and space stations can have a surprising effect on us back on Earth. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about in the second part of this forum from the BBC World Service in a couple of minutes.
This is the BBC World Service, exploring the existential threat facing narwhals.
Narwhals live in the freezing Arctic oceans. Theirs is a world of sound. They make whistles, pulses, clicks to navigate, communicate with one another, and to find food.
The problem is that there is this influx of new noises. The amount of ice in the Arctic has been decreasing. That has led to more vessel traffic and more industrial activities.
From quiet backwater to noisy new frontier, the sea creatures of the Arctic, including the narwhals, are facing a cacophonous future.
Narwhals are extremely sensitive to these sounds. They stopped feeding, they moved away from the sound source, and they also stopped echolocating.
Will the unicorns of the sea fall silent? Tuesday at 9:30 and 20 GMT, or listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Still to come on the forum. How plastic packaging conquered the food industry with a big help from marketeers employed by the companies making plastic films. And plastics in outer space. Why the disposal of space trash may have a bigger impact on us here down on Earth than we imagine. My expert guests are still with me, so rejoin our discussion about single-use objects right after the news summary.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. The Israeli military is expanding its ground offensive into central Gaza. A UN official has voiced grave concern about the bombing of refugee camps crowded with displaced people. An advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister told the BBC that Israel needed to finish the job of ending Hamas rule in Gaza and dismantling what he called its military machine. The Palestinian Health Ministry says an Israeli raid on a refugee camp in the occupied West Bank has killed 6 people. The attack took place near the city of Tulkarm. Nepal says it's received reports that about 100 of its citizens, fighting as mercenaries for Russia in the war in Ukraine, are either missing or have been injured. Wolfgang Schäuble, the German politician who was finance minister during the Eurozone debt crisis, has died. He was 81. He also twice served as interior minister, including at the time of German reunification 3 decades ago. He survived an assassination attempt shortly afterwards that left him paralyzed from the waist down. Indonesian workers have staged a protest at a nickel processing plant, where an explosion over the weekend killed at least 18 people. Officials in Japan have moved a step closer to reopening the world's largest nuclear power station. Regulators have lifted an operational ban imposed 2 years ago because of safety breaches at the Kashiwazaki Kariwa plant. Police in Australia are searching a huge stretch of coastline after more packages of cocaine washed up on beaches in New South Wales. In all, more than 120 kilos of the drug have been found. And police in Pakistan have rearrested a senior opposition leader as he was about to leave prison in Islamabad. They said Shah Mahmood Qureshi was held in connection with widespread unrest earlier this year. He is an ally of the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. BBC News.
Welcome back to the forum from the BBC World Service. I'm Izzy Lawrence, and I'm talking about disposable items and our addiction to single-use objects, with Professor of Marketing Jennifer Argo from Alberta School
Hi
of
guys, this is your friend Uruj from
History
Sendwave.
Professor Catherine Britt
Sendwave
from
is a money
University of
transfer app
Delaware
that is used by
and Professor
people all
Mark
over the world to
Budovnik,
send money
who
to
was-
their loved ones in Africa. With Sendwave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, Sendwave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use Sendwave? Sendwave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. God, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Broadcasting live online. Turn it on.
Turn it up.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive a king. Hey, listeners, yes, let earth receive a king. It is Star Radio UK. I'm Archie, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile.
Hey, this is Archie, and you are listening to Star Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat.
Welcome.
You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. Hello. And I hope you all had a very nice festivity. The Christmas and the Boxing Day. Did you go shopping? Did you get a very good present? And how was your present? You know what? Yeah, I'm yet to receive my present, and that is by way of you sharing the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is the Wednesday edition of the Morning Show.
Great to be praised.
Well, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
But from now until 12 o'clock, myself, my colleague, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, and my producer, Mr. Francis Guy, on the helm, or at the helm of the engineering things here, I'm going to bring you everything that you need to know, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, speaking headlines. Why not? We're going to touch on it. But let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, good morning to you, Mr. Francis Guy, good morning to you, Felix on the way in Aberdeen, good morning to you. Reverend Michael is here, man. Salute to you, sir. Anthony Debeji Aziz. Rachel, wherever you are, good morning to you. Mr. Frank Davis, good morning. And to our friends and loved ones. Bishop Adesina, massive good morning to you and to the team all in the areas of it in Lagos, Nigeria. Pastor Momo, good morning. Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, good morning. All the men of God who support us on this platform, good morning to you. Kotodi, good morning. Reverend Michael Ayisi, Bishop Michael Ayisi, good morning to you. And a special good morning also goes to Reverend Dr. Francis Okonunu and all River City Church members there. I salute each and every one of you. And once again, I say welcome to the Starr Radio UK Morning Show. Well, as you know the drill, I'm going to bring you the code for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, and the travel update as well. And then we'll move on to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. And then at 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki going to be joining us to tell you everything that you need to know about what is happening in Nigeria. And then after that, we will be looking at other stories making the rounds, and then hopefully from today we'll be looking at reviewing the year 2023 and what our expectations are when it comes to 2024. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial, because during the course of the program, if you post your comments there, I'll be able to bring it or read it all out, and let's see what you think about issues that is going on across the globe. Once again, welcome on board. The quote for the day says, love should be an addition. And my apologies. Let me take it again. Love should be an action word. And when it is acted out, it inspires others to do the same. So have you seen or have you shown any love? Have you experienced any love? Well, if you haven't, a word to a wife is always enough. Or as a friend would say, it's always enough, London. Alright then, so let's move on swiftly to the weather front. Well, those of you in London and the southeast of England, this morning this is how the weather is going to be for you. Now we're going to be seeing this afternoon we'll see cloudy skies with spells of rain moving in from the southwest. But at times the rain will tend to ease by the evening. The windy and mild day is spread as well. Now this evening we'll see any lingering rain and cloud move off to the east, making clear spells. However, blustery showers will develop overnight. Some heavy, strong, near gale force winds expected as well. Temperature is going to be 13 degrees, the lowest going to be 9 degrees. Sunset is going to be 15:57, and sunrise for tomorrow morning is going to be 08:06 hours celebration to the end of the weather forecast. Of you who are still traveling, okay, if you want to use the underground this morning, the district and Elizabeth lines have got past suspensions, severe delays and minor delays, and the Beckerloo line, okay, apologies, DLR has got path closures and London Overground path closures there as well. The other side, all the other underground lines are running a very good service there. London, Tram Lane is also running a good service. Now when it comes to the major roads in London, no exceptional delays this morning. Now coming to the studios was like when we are there. But when it comes to the riverbank this morning, there's a reduced service on the Woolwich Ferry still, and the London cable car has resumed and there is good service there as well. Now to the final segment of the travel update, and that's the national rail. So I'll be bringing you which rail lines are in good service, right? Okay, so I'm going to West Coast C2C, Chiltern Railways, First House Trains, Gatwick Express, Grand Central, Great Northern, Island Line, Merseyrail, and West Midland Trains have all got good service. All those that were not mentioned are not running a good service there, I can tell you assuredly. So on that note, let me say it once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good don't you worry when we on planet Earth enjoy your coming for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes well on the road. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK. I am Archie, and we continue with the program exactly at 8 minutes to the top of the hour. That's 8 minutes to 11 here in London. Once again, we're going to be bringing you everything that you need to know across the globe. That is Global Trotting. But let me start kicking off with what is happening from Nigeria. Now, according to family source, Akeredolu died in Lagos this Wednesday after a prolonged battle with leukemia. As one of the breaking news that has come through. We were talking about Akeredolu, and we were talking about the fact that, well, he's not been well. So what was happening? But apparently he died last Wednesday. Oh, yes, 155 persons killed in a single day in a country where there is no civil war. Okay. Outrage at Plateau massacre claims 150 over 10,000 displaced, and In another story, Nigerians lambast Plateau Governor Mufwang for attending Tinubu's house party in Lagos amid killing of 150 people by terrorists. Of course, when you're supposed to be sitting back and mourning with your community, you are out there partying. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. African leaders, well, if it is part of the world, he will be resigning like no man's business. Well, what do you think about it? Tinubu condemns heinous attacks in Plateau and others arrest of culprits. Now, if they knew where they were, don't you think that they would have arrested them? Your funds are safe in banks, CBN assures depositors. Well. And then former Rep Speaker Gali Naaba is dead, born on September 27, 1958. Now, about age 65, battled a prolonged illness before succumbing to it. So those are some of the stories making the rounds from Nigeria. We're going to be looking at it more. Well, from there. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. But let's move on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds this morning in other parts of the world. Well, medical progress in 2023 advances against malaria and Alzheimer's disease. And then, Burundi, victims of the rebel attack in Gatumba are being buried. And in Senegal, jail opposition leader Sonko files to run for the 2024 elections. Well, so that means that the courts have allowed him to. A DRC election, government bans opposition. Okay. And Uganda, 3 dead in a new attack attributed to the ADF. Senegal catches comedy bug. Young stands up. Apps seek a wider audience there as well. And in Egypt, flying object shot down off Sinai. Well, flying object was shot down off Sinai. Is it a proper unidentified flying object? UFO? Well, we'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. But wherever you are, don't touch the dial. In Ghana as well, a very wonderful gentleman, one that I knew back in the day in Ghana. Apostle, he was a former chairman of the Church of Pentecost. Apostle to me has also passed away. And babies born on Christmas Day receive surprise hampers from MTN. Okay, now Obi Amwa makes U10, enters parliamentary race with special aid in Ekwapim South. It's one of the stories. And President vetoes powers, not blank check to settle political scores. Shrem Sai is also saying those are some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. Now when it comes to other parts of the world as well, Hamas reports 241 killed in Gaza inside 24 hours. And then drone shots show Palestinians buried in Palestinians buried in mass grave. Some 80 unidentified bodies handed over by Israel are lowered into a grave in South Gaza. And Parasite actor Lee Sung-kyun found dead at 48. The South Korean actor had been under investigation for illegal drug use since October. And then Merkel's no-nonsense finance minister Schäuble also dies, although never Chancellor Wolfgang Schäuble was one of Germany's most influential politicians. The godfather of avocado toast, Chef Bill Granger, also dies. He passed away in London Hospital on Christmas Day, age 54. You know, interestingly, I do say this all the time. Are you alive? You think that maybe whatever things that you were maybe trusting that God will give you, you've not received it. So, God has not been good to you. At least you have your life. People have died. People have died in all ways and all sorts. Okay. In other stories making the round this morning here in the UK, now Prince Andrew smoothed over Mandelson's gaffe, achieve papers reveal. My apologies, let me take it again. Prince Andrew smoothed over Mandelson gaffe, archive papers reveal. The newly released Irish State papers chart the Good Friday Agreement and the Patton Report as well. And then May opens to new TV show with Clarkson and Hammond. And I want to change things after Grace's murder. Gillian Millane is throwing herself into a charity work 5 years after her daughter's murder. And then driverless cars possible in UK by 2026, and ministers are saying. Oh boy. Hey, which brand? Which model? Okay, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. That is 2 minutes to the top of the hour. And that's what I'm going to be looking at this morning. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. Let's enjoy this music. And it says, what? Broken pencil still write. So keep on writing. And it's one of the songs that I want you to take the lyrics very, very seriously. Somewhere, somehow. Maybe you think that you are down and finished. But even whilst down, rise up. There is something in you that you can do something about. That can still do something. So don't give up. Don't give up. Continue to hold on to that faith. Broken pencil still write from Kofi Boham.
Alright. This is a letter to the broken. Don't get discouraged. I see you fighting all the demons in your life that have wreaked heavy carnage. Don't be dismayed. I know you think that your dreams and everything that you hope for seem to delay. Looks like your problems don't seem to go nowhere. Just take a deep breath. People talk about you, it's got you feeling down and really, really, really stressed. Don't tell me you don't know the trouble that I've been going through. You self don't know, see the same thing you they go through. Me self, I they go through too. Who told you the lie? When you fall, it's the end of your life. I heard a whisper from above. I pray it opens up your eyes. Broken pencil still write, so keep on writing. And fallen soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you'll lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you will win. One day you will win. Broken pencils still write, so keep on writing. And fallen soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you'll lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you will win. Yeah. One day you will win. Now snap on it. News around this life is not fair. Greed is all we see. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, they broke it, and now you put it on free. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, if you could see the real them, you know you are being a grateful. You wrote a paper and failed. Sit down and write it again. One day you will kill him. He broke your heart and you cried. Give love another try. True love will heal him. I'm not trying to look down on your problems. No, 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 no. I know say you don't know how you sabi solve them. Yeah, yeah. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know. He's a specialist in handling cases and issues we don't blow. If you fell, just rise.
This is Starr Radio UK.
If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Well, Kofi Boham for you. But let me say good morning to Apostle Rachel. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance, Mr. Archie, and every one of you. Okay. Rachel, hope you had a nice one there, and we pray that the next year will be a wonderful one for us. Of course, the Bible says something. It said, "Life and death lies in the power of the tongue, and they who live it is the fruit thereof." And therefore, we speak what we want to happen in our lives. Yeah. Yes.
One day you will. Your wedding bells will ring. One day you will.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Your wedding bells will ring. One day you will.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Pass it again.
What should we have in Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in the next few moments?
International scholarship is coming.
Well, remember, one day you will win. Everybody has got their time. Someone's time today. It could be yours tomorrow. So wherever you are, don't give in. Don't throw in the towel. Keep on keeping on. You convicted about that? Just continue. And I know that one day you will.
Your ministry go blow. One day you will win.
And let me take opportunity to say good morning to all presenters and Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to all presenters and patrons of Starr Radio UK.
People will know that God has done it. The fixer of your life, He will fix it. Yeah, one day you will win. Yeah, one day you will win. Yeah, one day you will win. This heaven, you will make up one day.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
You will overcome this sin. You will break this addiction.
Let me say a special good morning, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to Vicky, the Queen herself. I hope you are doing very, very well. Had a very good time there as well. I'm on love to the family. Listen to this Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The time now exactly at 5 minutes past the top of the hour. Would you have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in the next few moments? But for now, let's quickly take a commercial break, and once we come back, I'll be bringing you Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you're stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I know that Mr. Olayomi Koiki has joined in, but it looks like his image is frozen. But wherever you are, don't touch the dial because he's going to be sorting it out, and then we'll be having him on. But feel free, post your comments, or maybe you want to send a special greeting to somebody and you want us to see to that. Why not? I'm here to see to that. Of course, I'm here to serve you breakfast. As I do all the time. So just be there, reassured, and I tell you one thing for sure, you're going to enjoy this ride. All right then, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we did say earlier on, the sad announcement of Akeredolo's death. Governor Rotimi Akeredolo of Ondo State has died aged 67. We're talking about his issue for a long time, the fact that he wasn't allowing his deputy to take over, and the fact that he was in Germany for a long time. He came back. Well, what do you think about disclosure of health issues when it comes to political actors? Should I put it that way? Or let me put it this way, big hooks, our leaders. So if somebody's going to be a president or anything of the sort, then maybe we need to know exactly what is wrong with them, or what they are really doing. Yomi, I could see you, and then I think your image was okay. So I don't know why Yomi is gone. Don't you worry, he's back again. He's back again. We will be sorting him out in a moment. But I could see him there. His image was clear, but he had to go and be back. But whatever it is, it's a very sad one there. Yes, I can see him. Yes. Let's see whether we can hear him as well. Yomi, good morning.
Good morning back to you in the studio. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. Loud.
A bit of a technical glitch, but we'll see how far we can hold on to it. But let's go on. As long as you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you as well. Your image is okay. Yeah, it's all working good. How are you? How is the family? And how was the festivities as well?
Well, I think we just have to be grateful, especially when you ask those questions. I know you just want to get the feel of the family. The family are doing very well, but there's so much to discuss this morning, and we're so in a very, very sober mood, because in the last 72 hours, it's been darkness overshadowing a country called Nigeria. As much as a lot is happening here.
Yeah, go on.
The other part of the as well.
Okay. Listeners, that is Yomi's statement to you this morning, and I can tell you, with the stories that I've read this morning or come across over the weekend and everything that has happened, you ask yourself the question, as somebody has posted it, if the country is not a civil war, why should people lose their life in this numbers? So let's go on straight. We'll come to Akeredolo in a moment, but 155 persons killed in a single day. Yomi, tell us.
I mean, you might first remind our listeners that last week we talked about, the FCDO, the Foreign and Commonwealth, giving us the information that Nigeria should be prepared for the worst case scenario. But it seems that this current administration is already lacking behind when it comes to security and intelligence details. And I'm talking about the president, and right there on the screen is the governor of Plateau State, that has also been talking about maybe it is time now that Nigerians will have to defend themselves against these monsters called the Boko Haram terrorists. The images cannot be shown, but the cry of the baby that was one of the images that was sent to us, where the mother has been killed, but the baby is still crying right behind her back. That just shows the kind of magnitude of over 200 people that have been killed in Plateau State over the weekend. The question then is, why have we got to where we are today? Is because we have the Fulani invaders that believe that they will conquer one part of Nigeria, one part of the West Africa, which is Nigeria. And as many times that we've been talking about this, it seems that people are not really taking it serious. Maybe because many of those that should be listening to us are probably waiting for the Western media. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as much as we are reporting these on a daily basis on the Starr Radio UK and as many other platforms across the, those that are the most active when it comes to the current situation in Nigeria, I was picking on something this morning from another journalist that says, I'm trying to pick that up, that he actually was in Nigeria 6 years ago. So that means he's still thinking that Nigeria 6 years ago is the same Nigeria today. And this is why we are saying to our listeners that you've got to be on board and listen to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is Douglas Murray, and this is how he put it on his timeline that has literally generated almost 848,000 views. But the question is, he has not reported what we have been reporting in the last 6 years. He says, and I quote, over Christmas, there was yet another massacre of Christians in the northern Nigeria. 6 years ago, I reported from there on the massacre of Christians carried out by the Muslim Boko Haram Fulani militia. I still can't understand, and this is why I'm going to return back to you, Mr. Archie. He's asking this question, and I'm asking all our listeners this morning. I still can't understand why the world does not care.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Kehinde. Kehinde, well done, Starr Radio UK. That's what he say, and we thank God that you are still alive, Kehinde. Where are you listening to us from? Now, interestingly, let me come back to Yomi. Now, my issue has been, if it is this part of the world, we would have had the defense minister resigning like now. But the president came in promising heaven and earth. Now we're talking about the fact that people in the south think that they cannot go and settle in the north because whatever businesses that they are even embarking or whatever they are doing, they will tell you, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't do that. But they say we are all in the same country. So when people are calling for separation, then people will be asking, why wouldn't they be giving that? Yomi, tell me.
Well, each time you talk about the Nigerian military, maybe the Nigerian military that you knew when you went to Nigeria in the 80s, the Nigerian military that fought and tried to protect many wars that has happened within Africa, from Sierra Leone to Liberia. But this time around, let me take you back to what the former Chief of Defense Staff, T.Y. Danjuma, says, and maybe you might want us to remember that the Nigerian military of today is already compromised. But let's listen.
In this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state, and of course in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
And this is just about almost 8 years ago. And on the weekend in Plateau State, we can confirm that more than 200 people were killed because they were waiting for the Nigerian military to protect them. Rather, the Nigerian military is moving all their arsenals to the southeast to try to stop the agitation, the campaigners of those asking for the right to self-determination known as the Biafra, when they've actually now left the other porous borders to be penetrated and massacred and killed. You would thought that that is the end of the weekend, but again yesterday, 10 Boko Haram terrorists went into Sokoto village, set for a blaze and killed 12 people. Gunmen known as the Boko Haram, suspected to be terrorists, have killed no fewer than 12 persons in an attack in Kuya village in Raba local government area of Sokoto State. According to the residents that have been affected, told the journalists in Sokoto that this incident happened yesterday, Sunday night, following the invasion of the village by the Boko Haram Fulani terrorists who came with the sophisticated weapons, shooting periodically. And I'm telling you, Mr. Archie, those were very, very sophisticated weapons. We will probably give you just a sound clip. But let me come back again to you first in the studio, because if you know that when we say that these are moving with very sophisticated weapons, they are moving with very sophisticated weapons. Another question you might want to ask is, where are they getting this from?
Of course.
It's the same barracks, the military barracks that have been invaded, the porous border that have allowed, these individuals to come up with so many heavy arsenal to kill innocent Nigerians. And likewise, as that is happening, the Nigerian custom and the immigration are still waiting in Seme for those diaspora that are coming with dollars, just like Professor Moyo Okedeji was almost killed by the same officer. Like I said, the firepower that is in the hands of these individuals is just too much, too overwhelmed for the community that might probably have those local guns to use for the farming. They will not be able to confront the firepower of these monsters, as you can hear from this sound.
ولله العزة ولرسوله وللمؤمنين ولكن المنافقين لا يعلمون. الله أكبر.
And that is just the kind of firepower that confronted the innocent lives. May their soul rest in peace. I'll come back again to you in the studio on the Starr Radio UK, the 27th December 2023. I know we are still countdown to the new year, but it is already a black day in what is called Nigeria in the last 72 hours.
Well, listeners, a sad one there, a sad one there. You have your religion, I have my religion. There should be tolerance. But if we see people behaving this way, then what hope do we have? Kayinde, thank you very much. It says it's listening to us from all the way Paris. So he is our French representative on the platform. Yes, Kayinde, have a lovely day there. All right then. Now, interestingly, whilst this are taking place, we will expect that the governor will be there with his community to mourn with them. However, the governor had a different, because he thinks that having a meeting, or not a meeting, having a party with the president is the best thing to do when your community has been ravaged by such a terrorist act. Yomi.
Well, you would thought that these governors and the president and the vice president, you would think that they have human sympathy in their bodies. But like I always say, these individuals have probably left sympathy and they are no longer worried about many Nigerians. We are worried about Nigerians, even though we are 6,000 kilometers away from Nigeria. Yesterday, it has now over 21 governors, from different of the political party have paid a courtesy visit to the president at his residence as they celebrate the New Year in Lagos, and likewise Christmas that has been confirmed in the last few days. But one thing is, it doesn't matter how many of them visit, but what is the Plateau State governor also doing in Lagos State? It is now what is now becoming outrage as the Plateau massacre claims over 200 people. Over 10,000 people have now been displaced. We're not even talking about those that have been displaced. The president has already confirmed that that has happened. They're also putting inquiries in place as quickly as possible. But the most important thing is the governor that decided to travel down there as well. As the outrage continues, President Bola Tinubu released a statement by Special Media Advisor Ajuri Ngelale condemning the attacks and order a manhunt for the killer as well. Question is, how do you hunt people that have already left the vicinity? If they were meant to be hunted, they should have been stopped in the first place. While condoling with the government and the people of Plateau State, well, the governor of Plateau State himself is being in Lagos State, maybe to talk to the president. From what we know, it is just another visit, what we call the jamboree. The vice president is also in Lagos State. So it seems that nobody, as we speak, as of yesterday, I'm not sure whether they're moving, ministers and people that were visiting that community or the chief of defense staff. But what I can confirm is that as yesterday, Shetima was in Lagos State 21 governors were in Lagos State. And it seems that many Nigerians are just asking the question, how did we get to where leaders do not have sympathy? We're not talking about 1, 2, 3 people. We're talking about 200 people were massacred, yet it seems that Bodilon has turned to jamboree in the last couple of hours.
Oh, God, have mercy on us. Well, if you're listening to us, this is what is happening in Nigeria. As some think that, the other time we were on the program and somebody just sent a message. I remember I read it sometime last week. Either insulting us, saying that we didn't know what we're talking about. But these are realities. These are things that is going on. We will not be biased. If anybody in the south is doing wrong, we will say it. If anybody in the east is doing wrong, we will say it, whatever it is. And some people in the north doing things like that. Why wouldn't we say it? And government not sitting up? Why wouldn't we say it? Listeners, it's Starr Radio. Okay, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. I'll bring you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, has the government come out, and normally things like that happen, and you hear government say that, there's good flags will be flying of half-mast for the people who have died. I mean, was it recently when there was a shooting in the campus? Was it one of these European countries? Are they Hungary? Either Hungary, yes, I think so. And then the following day or the same night or something, the government came out to say that to pay respect to such people, this and this and this is what is going to happen. We know that the president went on with his party and we had all the governors of various states going down there. But the question is, has there been any statement of the sort from the Plateau state itself and then from the federal government too? Yomi, anything of the sort?
Well, like I said, the government itself decided to spend, the weekend, in Lagos State when it should be visiting those community, mobilizing the security and giving assurance. He spoke a lot, through the medias, in Nigeria. But the question is, we will expect him to have stayed behind in the state. But as we always say, most of them do not even live anyway in their state. Most of them live in Abuja, where they just move into the state for whatever reasons and then return back and sleep overnight in Abuja state, and that shows that they are not, with the people on the ground. Yes, I mean, the president, like we said, has already spoken out and, says that there will be investigation and the manhunt, the word the manhunt, you will ask, how are they going to hunt, these individuals? Many people are now pained, that this administration, and I can tell you the reaction goes on and on and on and on. Let's take some of those reactions quickly before we come back again. Morris_Moye says, I really don't have any word left to describe Nigerian politician. Is he meant to be on the ground fully monitoring and coordinating what is happening on the ground? Even Tinubu would understand if he did not show up. But how would Tinubu take it seriously if you, the governor, still feel good enough to travel? There's sadly no leadership in this country. Same Plateau State governor that I had to call out before, he paid half of the salary of health workers. After a year-long rigmarole, they said they will balance them the salary till nothing. So you can even see that they are owing salaries in that particular state as well. Again, many conversations still going on. Plateau killing. Tinubu should have spent a week in the affected community to ease the tension. That is coming from another individuals there. And like I said, the reaction, especially of the governor that traveled, Governor Mufawang pays homage to Tinubu in Lagos as bodies pile up in Plateau after the terrorist attack by the Fulanis. Someone who cares about his people would have cancelled any trip or function outside the state. A FaceTime could have saved his show of shame. According to Bello Oluwatosin, they are the ones doing the killings. We are not just paying attention to the good detail. When we are ready to wake up from this slumber, we will all ask questions. Then the last one's Ayola Joseph says, this is lack of sensitivity to the plight of the people in the state.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, a sad one there. Samiyu Adeyemi says, good morning to everyone on Starr Radio UK. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year to you, Samiyu. We pray that Nigeria will not happen to any one of us. With what is happening now, oh boy. Okay, now let's go on to some other story. One governor who wouldn't be or who wasn't part of it is Akeredolu. Now, we did talk about him several times. We were saying that you cannot just hold the whole state to ransom and be in another state whether you were recouping, whatever you were going on. And we did say this several times until sometime last week or thereabout, there was an agreement that the deputy should take over because of, the president coming through to them. So now the question is, what happened to him? We know that he died from that, but how long? Why? And again, why are the state actors, the big hooks, the politicians, when they are ill, why are they not telling us exactly what is happening with them?
Well, before we go into Akeredolu, we can also confirm that another former rep speaker, Gali Naba, also died, according to the family, and he will be buried according to, what we know today. He was born on September 27, 1958. 65. He's been battling a prolonged illness before crumbling to it as well. He's a former Speaker of the House of Representatives. Gali Umar Naaba buried his last in the early hours of Wednesday in Abuja, according to the family source. Now, let's go to Akeredolu. I think the reason why the news have actually come out so fast as well is just to give, that final respect to him. Remember that he has been battling, with the state, even, as he was trying to hold on to power, his health was not really very strong. We were praying for him, and we hope that, he will recover back, but unfortunately, he did not. According to the family source, Rotimi Akeredolu died in Lagos today after a prolonged battle with leukemia. The Owo-born politician is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, was 67 years old. The ailing governor has returned to Nigeria just in September after 3 months out of Nigeria, for treatment in Germany. But again, I don't think, whatever was wrong, he could not hold on back. They were trying to shield him away from the state. It was kept in Ibadan for a very long time, probably sneaked back to Lagos State. But throughout last week, there was a lot of, rumors out there. There was a lot of information. Even as at last week, people were already saying he's gone. But again, we don't take that rumor. We go with the fact of what is being said by the family, and that's exactly what we are doing today. Well, we know that the state will probably be going into a serious mourning, but let's remember that it was just a politician that stood his ground, especially when the former President Muhammadu Buhari refused to allow the functionality of the Amotekun. Akeredolu backed it so much, he wanted to get them harmed so that they can take back this territory that has been, invaded by these Fulani terrorists. But again, as any other politicians, things happen. I was privileged to meet him, just about 2018, during one of our visits to Ondo State, during the Ondo Auto Rally. And as at the time, we questioned, we asked, why would we prefer to come back to Ondo State? He gave us reasons that there's so much opportunity in Ondo State. But like I said, at some point, it will be our bus stop. Our team, our correspondent on the ground have been questioning people within from Yewa all the way to Ekiti State. And as they say, whatever you do, people will talk about it after you've departed this world.
Well, we say here from Starr Radio UK that may his soul rest in perfect peace, and the soul of the former rep speaker, Gali Naba, who's also died, may their souls rest in perfect peace. And the souls of the common person in Plateau State and other parts of Sokoto as well. People who are just losing their lives because of actions or inactions of the government. What do you think about all that? Starr Radio UK. Do you think it's about time that Nigerians now armed our government allow individuals to own their own guns to defend themselves? Because if the government cannot come through for them, the state cannot come through for them, then what else can they do? Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK at 11:32, and I'll hand over to Yomi to bring you the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Well, as March, still coming through, the death of Akeredolu, we move swiftly to some of the other news that is coming out of Nigeria this morning. Plateau killing, don't allow Nigeria to become ungovernable under you. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is telling, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, be involved in community development. The monarchies are urging many Nigerians, just like, the same thing was said by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, that you must be involved, in fixing Nigeria. But the question is, many people want to fix Nigeria, but as that is not happening, many continue to japa. Mass exit of specialized workers exposed to Nigerians' bank underbelly. What does that go? And our operators in the banking industry are now mobilizing $20 million to replace specialized workers whose exit abroad in search of greener pastures has worsened service levels in the bank. Is also raising network glitches. Weaker digital channels have exposed the banks to increased activities of hackers. The question we always looked at, Nigeria, is we talked about the, these, healthcare sector, but we don't really look into some of the other sectors where people are moving out of Nigeria, and they're moving out in numbers. One of those sectors is the banking sector, where it's now needs about $20 million to replace specialized workers. We're not talking about just ordinary individuals, people that can protect, the bank, people that can protect your money from not being hacked. And like we always say, do not give the 6-digit code. Nigerians are very smart people. They will wrap those bank account. They will hack your phone. If you're not expecting any meetings, and if you're not too sure, just say no, because what they will do is they will tell you that we will send, you have a meeting, most especially they've been using this Yoruba Nation campaign for that. They will tell you that there's a meeting coming up from Ogun State, Ilano, and they will be sending this code to you, and they expect you to give the code back to them. If you do so, your mobile phone will be override, and you will not have access to the phone for a couple of days, and you might lose as many information on that phone as well. According to James Emeka, that worked in the marketing department of 3 commercial banks for the last 9 years before he finally japa as well to UK in search of greener pasture. 5 years after he speaks to the newspaper on the worrisome japa syndrome, the term that is used to the mass exit of Nigerians in the country who are seeking better life in other countries. He says, unfortunately, we that have acquired the training and the work experience on the field know how it is out there. We are all leaving the country because of the bad economy, the experience without passing the baton of the experience to the new entrants. What you learn in school is totally different from what you learn when you are working. That is called the work experience that most of us gain when we come here, because sometimes your education background might be of useful, but mostly it is all about the work experience. So most of those Nigerians that are arriving today and most African countries are not really using their degree, especially if you're coming on this healthcare scheme. You are just going to be trained how to make sure that the care of duty is something that is needed, especially most of them. But as time goes on, and one thing again is that if you're coming on a particular scheme, it will be very difficult for you. Even if you have the expertise on another sector, you will not be able to change or switch, because the reason why you have been given that work visa is the demand and the needs that the UK government and other countries need as well. So even if you're an expert in the banking sector, you will not be able to work in the banking sector. When you get to UK, you will only be able to work. Well, it seems that the boxing match that took place, on the Boxing Day between Portable has actually beaten Charles Okocha in a celebrity boxing fight. Well, they've been, back to back with each other, but it seems that they decided to put the feet, in the ring, and it's been one of those celebrity matches. Both of them are celebrity, but it seems that they've also had these different, discussion of money, and they thought maybe we should face each other in the boxing ring, which they did yesterday. Again, we talk about money at 11:36. Many Nigerians are losing money, while many as well are trying their best with the little that they have to make sure that the banks doesn't rip them off. And this morning, your money is safe in the banks. This is coming from the Central Bank of Nigeria, is assuring many Nigerians that your money is safe. The Central Bank of Nigeria has affirmed the safety of funds in the Nigerian banks, emphasizing the stability of the country's banking sector. The Apex Bank therefore advised the public to continue with their regular banking activities without stumbling to the alarm caused by unverified report not originating from the CBN concerning the health status of the Nigerian banks. As we're concerned about security, we're concerned about the health, we're concerned about our welfare, we're also now concerned about whether our little money, and I say little because many Nigerians do not have the big money. Those that even have the big money are switching those money into the different foreign banks as well. Foreign currency rather. So again, as we say, the PDP released timetable for the by-election PEG Senate from at the 3.5 million. Many Nigerians will not be able to contest, as again, the election is one of the most expensive things in Nigeria. And the last before I come that concerns most of us that are journalists is when we hear journalists in Nigeria or in Africa or anywhere around the world are being threatened. We are always concerned because journalists are meant to be free to report without any intimidation. But in Nigeria and African countries, it's a different ballgame entirely. According to the NUJ, demand justice as cultists killed Edo broadcaster on Christmas Eve. A very, very sad situation, a very sad news again. Like I said, it has been darkness overshadowing Nigeria in the last 72 hours, and we can only hope that, whatever is happening in that country called Nigeria that was marched together in 1914, we will be able to resolve it amicably. Let's go into it. Odia is the staff of independent television and radio. He was murdered last night at about the second East Circular in Benin City, Edo State capital. According to the report coming out, Odele is the staff of the independent television, like we said, was killed yesterday. A spokesman for the Edo State Police Command, Chidi Inwabuzo, confirmed the incident, disclosing that the sizable number of arrests of the secret cult members of various cult groups had made different locations in the state. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state has charged security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, to unravel the circumstances surrounding the murder of the broadcaster. The union prayed for the repose of the soul of this fallen soldier, urged his family to take solace in the fact that Odia will be remembered on the positive side of history. And like we'll go back to you in the studio, we pray that his soul will continue to rest in peace. This is a very sad news, especially journalists that are doing their job, regarding of whichever area they're talking on, whether you're an activist, you're talking about the crime, you're talking about the government or the welfare or humanity. You should not be scared of your job. But in Africa, mostly in Nigeria, it is not the same. And that is why many people that are journalists refuse to return back home. And those at home are very, very careful on what they're saying. Most of what we've discussed on Starr Radio UK will never be discussed on most of the news network in Nigeria because of intimidation and harassment by the government, the politicians, and individuals that says, we will take you out, and they will take you out. And we've seen so many cases, just like our brother that died yesterday. May his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. There, a very sad one there. But listeners, it's Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria. If you have any comments that you want to put through, feel free to do so. And I promise you one thing for sure, we're gonna read that out. Well, Yomi, it's been quite a sad story following each other. And I don't know, what do you think Nigerians will be expecting for the next year?
Well, I think, the Nigerians will continue to hold, the government accountable, especially as many Yorubas, have lied down on Borderland Road waiting for Christmas gift from the president. It doesn't work like that. I mean, the president's job is to bring the economy, protect the citizens, and allow businesses to flourish. But trooping down there, maybe for ceremony to see and say hello, but sleeping overnight, thinking that they will share money. Tinubu is not going to be sharing any money as he has done in the past. He's the president. The job he should be doing is to protect Nigerians. And like as I said, as we go into 2024, I didn't talk about Professor Wole Soyinka. He actually spoke that, Tinubu is Olori Kunkun, somebody that have strong head. He told him not to contest. He has actually contested, and he will now give him 1 year, just like he has done with every president in the last since 1999. Then after 1 year, he will be able to talk about what we should know in his own view about this current administration. Remember that he also paid a visit to Olayomi in the Republic at some point. But the question many Nigerians are asking is, would this government bring any change that will not be the one that was sold to them during the former president, Muhammadu Buhari? He has actually not used the word change. He has used renew. People say renew shege, but we say it is renew hope, as it is in the manifesto.
Well, is it renew shege or renew hope? We'll see, as the president is saying there, and assessment that is going on. But do you think, once again, before we bring the updates to a close there, do you think Nigerians are angry enough? People, things are happening to you, and you say, they hit you, But when people become angry enough, then politicians have no feet to stand on because they need to act.
I don't think we're there yet. Nigerians are not yet. As much as people use the excuse that the answers that people were no, you continue. I mean, let's take you through to Argentina. Argentina just had a president that people voted in, and they're already out on the street again protesting. Let's go to Israel. The Israelis are now also not very happy with the way situation is going, and they are now demanding questions. The question then is, why has that not been the same in Nigeria? Is because many Nigerians are waiting for that prophecies. They're waiting for that church. They're waiting for that imam to tell them exactly that this is going to be the prophecy in 2024. And to be honest with you, many Nigerians are just waiting for that man of God to give them the prophecy, and they will leave that, for that to be their only hope. But like I said, whatever you want, you go for it. Wherever we are today as well, people fought for us to enjoy it. Those that came in the 70s, in the 60s, the Windrush, people were not even allowed, to hold certain things in this country. And because there was a lot of, changes from people that spoke out, most of us that arrived, especially 25 years ago, 30 years ago, have now been able to live comfortably to some extent, even though we know the racism is there, but we are working on that and we are pushing on that. But in Nigeria and African countries, until you speak out, there's no mercy coming to you.
Wow, Yomi, let me say thank you very much. Are we having Niger Voices tonight?
I would be, giving you that update because we are still on the road as we speak right now, but we will hopefully give an update on that. But whatever it is, it will be the last Niger Voices, but I'll be confirming that with you later on, Mr. Archie.
Okay, so keep your diaries open. We'll confirm with you during the course of the day. Yomi, let me say thank you very, very much, and you have a lovely day.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios, and we want to say thank you very, very much to everyone
who end the broadcast
in this morning to listen to us on the morning show. We are moving swiftly because we're going to be finishing in the next 15 minutes. So I'm not going to take any musical break or anything. I'll just move on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds this morning, but that will be after this. Did I say I wasn't going to take a commercial break? After this break, just stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa will provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:47. And let's see what else is making the rounds this morning in other parts of the world. Okay. So in other parts of Africa as well, quick one from there. DR Congo police fire tear gas at banned election protests. Well. Here we go. Congo police fired tear gas on Wednesday to disperse the protests by opposition supporters in the capital, Kinshasa, calling for a rerun of last week's chaotic presidential and legislative election. The disputed vote threatens to further destabilize Congo, which is already grappling with the security crisis in the east. And that in the east. Okay, just bear with me. That has hampered development in the world's top producer of cobalt and other industrial minerals and metals. Now, 5 of President Felix Tshisekedi's challengers in the race, as well as civil society organizations, called on their supporters to join a march on Wednesday against the poll, which they say was fraudulent and should be annulled. The demonstration against the electoral process had been banned by the authorities. Information said Interior Minister Peter Kazadi announced on Tuesday that the march will not be permitted. It aims to undermine the electoral process. The government of the Republic cannot accept this, he declared. The opposition maintained its slogan and called on the people of Kinshasa to gather near the People's Palace, the seat of parliament, to march to the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. Anti-riot police position on Wednesday morning in the People's Palace district located near the large Matai Stadium. Nearly 44 million voters were called to elect their president, their national and provincial deputies, and their municipal councillors on December 20. Due to numerous logistical problems, the quadruple voting was officially extended by 1 day and continued until Christmas in some remote areas. Partial results of the presidential election placed the outgoing head of state, Felix Tshisekedi, well in the lead, with some 79% of the votes is in power since the beginning of 2019. He is seeking a second 5-year term. According to the latest available figures relating to the approximately 6 million votes counted, Mozi Katumbi, former governor of the remaining region of Katanga, will come in second position with 14% of the votes, followed by Martin Fayulu, unsuccessful candidate in the 2018 presidential election, 4%. Well, so the question is, how fair was that election? How fair was that election? And it's like we live in a jungle, you know, honestly. So when we talk about democracy, I say it all the time. We're not practicing democracy. We can forget about it. They talk about the rule of law. No, that's not suitable for us. But what do you think? Okay. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, let's move on to some other stories making the round this morning on the African continent as well. Just bear with me. Yes, okay. Now, jailed Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko has submitted his candidacy to contest a February presidential election with the Constitutional Council, despite the state's refusal to provide him with the necessary documents. Sonko's backup, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, has also filed to run. Osunu Lai, an official in their dissolved party, Pastor said on Tuesday. Like other candidates, Sonko had until 26th of December to submit his candidacy and show he has collected enough signatories. Now, last week, the national entity that runs elections in Senegal did not provide Sonko's representatives with the documents needed to file. His lawyers then said they will file anyway, hoping the justice system will be more receptive. We are certain that his candidacy will be accepted and validated, said Larifu, one of his lawyers, on last Friday during a press conference. Now, Sonko was condemned to 2 years in prison on June 1 on charges of corrupting minors. He refused to attend his trial and was tried in absentia. The 49-year-old has been jailed since the end of July on other charges, including calling for insurrection, conspiracy with terrorist groups, and endangering state security. He has denied the charges, saying they are intended to prevent him challenging President Macky Sall in the February 25 election. In mid-December, a judge ordered that he be reinstated or reinstalled on the list of candidates, confirming a lower court order that had been overturned on his appeal. Now, Faye, who is also running in the backup candidate for the Pastef party, which authorities ordered in July to be dissolved. Now, former Prime Minister Aminata Touare, once an ally of Starr, but who has since joined the opposition, also said Monday she had filed to contest the presidential election. Now, a divided front, what would that mean for them? We'll be looking at all that as the program goes on. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We need to just move on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. Okay. In Ghana as well. Well, it's getting to the end of the year once again. Therefore, you have the police in Ghana coming out to warn spiritual leaders of their utterances. And when I say utterances this time around, prophecies and all that. So it says that the police are reminding religious leaders on law, on prophecy, communication. So let me bring you that and then we touch on another story. The Ghana Police Service has reminded the religious leaders in the country against prophecies that will create panic among Ghanaians during the 31st night watch night service. Services. Now, certain pastors have become infamous for making sensational prophecies and predictions that often instill panic and fear among Ghanaians during church service on the 31st of December. In a statement, the police, however, indicated that they are grateful to faith-based groups and individuals for their compliance with the law so far, particularly in communicating prophecies. Now, it says, as the year comes to an end, in the spirit of the season, wish everyone Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. As we have to consider December 27 as a Prophecy Communication Compliance Day, the Ghana Police Service is once again urging religious communities to practice their faith within the legal framework. So maybe you are listening to us and you think, you could see Akeredolu dying. So you can't say that. But what if it is true? Why don't you find a way of communicating it? Okay, I didn't say anything about any Ghana politician, no. And I didn't. What I said about Akeredolu, we know that Akeredolu is already dead, right? Right. Okay, listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, in another sad story from Ghana, for all followers and members of sympathizers of Church of Pentecost, the former reports indicate that the former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Dr. Michael Kwamina Ntumi, has passed on Wednesday the 27th, that's today, 2023. According to sources, he was living in Germany. In the 1980s, Michael Ntumi worked as a teacher in Yendi before transitioning to the roles of deacon and elder. He married Martha at age 24 and embarked on full-time ministry with the Church of Pentecost at 26. Recognized for his dedication, he was appointed to the office of an apostle at the age 33. 6 years later, he assumed the esteemed position of fourth chairman of the Church of Pentecost. Following the terms of exemplary service spanning 10 years, Michael Ntumi gracefully handed over leadership to Apostle Professor Opoko Onyina. He retired as an apostle last year after 39 years in ministry, but sadly, he passed on. Information coming through says that he passed on today, and we say may his soul rest in perfect peace. I knew him very well. Okay, now moving on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. Once again, drone shots, Palestinian buried in mass grave. It's one of the stories making the rounds there. And I saw a child among 10 killed in Eastern Australia. Storms, some of the stories making the rounds there as well. Thousands of people are still without power after being hit by flooding and destructive winds. The South Korean actor that is Lee Sung-kyun was found dead, age 48, and he was under investigation for illegal drug use since October. In another story, Florida sister shot dead over a Christmas gift row. That is quite a very, very sad one. Two teenage brothers have been arrested after their sister was shot and died during a row over Christmas presents. The 23-year-old was shot in the chest by her teenage brother while she had a 10-month-old son in a carrier. The Florida sheriff office have said the boy who then was then shot by his older brother, who took out his own gun. Pinellas County Sheriff Office said it added that the shooting followed an argument over who was getting more presents. Sheriff Bob Gualtieri told reporters that the old teenager, age 15, ran from the scene and tossed his gun away. The younger brother, age 14, was taken to hospital in a stable condition and will be taken into custody when he is released. The police have said local prosecutors will review the case and decide whether to charge him as an adult for the killing of his sister. Sheriff Gualtieri added the woman was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Sheriff Gualtieri said he explained the mother of two suffered internal bleeding and was unable to breathe, but he added the baby in the carrier was not harmed. The 15-year-old was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. And that is where we look at it and I ask myself the question, so do you think with everything that is happening in Nigeria, should we allow people to arm themselves? Because if the state cannot actually do what they're supposed to do, what do we do? Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other stories as well, Israel issued an alert after blast near embassy in India. My bishop Adeshina, he said happy holiday season greetings. My regards, Bishop Adeshina. Our regards to you too. Hope you are doing very, very well. And to your team on the ground there, we salute each and every one of you. We hope you had a good break. Okay. Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. I'm going to be bringing the program to a close in the next few moments, but wherever you are, remember we're going to be trying to review the year. What we've seen so far, what do you think is going to be going on there? We're going to be telling you more about that. But interestingly, there's this story about unidentified flying object that has been shot down by Egypt. And the story says a flying object was shot down off the coast of Egyptian Sinai bordering Israel. An Egyptian media outlet close to the intelligence services and witnesses report a flying object was shot down 2 kilometers off the coast of Dahab, a seaside town in Sinai located 150 kilometers south of the border with Israel. The Al Kahira news television channel reported he heard a third of an explosion coming from the sea, and then we saw a strange object fall into the sea. One of the witnesses said the Sinai Desert Peninsula is bordered to the northeast by the Gaza Strip and shares its eastern borders with Israel. Now, Egypt, the historic mediator between Palestinians and Israelis and holder of the only gateway to the world from Gaza that is not in Israeli hands, has been on the front line since the bloody Hamas attack on Israel territory on the 7th of October and a devastating Israeli retaliatory bombardment in Gaza. Anthony Adedeji, massive good morning to you and nice seeing you. Thank God you are all doing very, very well. This is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Final story is coming your way from the UK front. So here in the UK as well, multiple signal failures are causing major disruption on trains between London and Luton. And National Rail has said operators East Midlands Railway said the issue was preventing it from running services in and out of St Pancras. Thameslink train calling at London Luton Airport was delayed by nearly 2 hours, putting air passengers' journeys at risk. Now, National Rail warned cancellation and severe delays were expected until the end of Wednesday. It said the fault was related to work over Christmas to install a new system to control signals on the line. The route director Gary Walsh said, I am very sorry that our engineering work is affecting passengers today. So if you are traveling, you want to go to Luton to get on the plane from there, to fly from there, please don't use the trains. Don't use the trains. You have to use go by bus or drive down. Okay. All right then. Starr Radio UK. The final story. When you drive on the streets, now you see vehicles that are being handled by human beings, but now it looks like come 2026, well, we're going to be having on the streets driverless cars here. Okay, 2026, so soon. Okay, so driverless cars could be on some UK roads by the end of 2026, the Transport Secretary has said. Mark Harper also said he expects to see the owners of those vehicles being able to travel without having to watch where they're going by the end of that year. Now, last month, the government announced plans for new legislation to bring automated driving to UK roads. But critics argue if the tech is not ready, it could cause serious accidents. Whereby Mr. Harper said this morning he has personally seen the technology being used in California, adding he wants people to have confidence in the proper safety regime. The legislation is going through Parliament at the moment, so hopefully we'll get that through Parliament by the end of 2024. He said probably by as early as 2026, people will start seeing some elements of these cars that are full self-driving capabilities being rolled out. So can you just imagine driving on the street and you see this car, nobody is driving it and it's driving towards you. What do you do? That would be interesting. But I hope to see. So I think it's going to get to a point now, nobody needs to do a driving test. Because if you're going to be owning a car that is driverless, all you need to know is whatever thing that you need to gadget that you need to press on that one. So DVLA, what is going to happen to them? Yeah. Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is where I bring the program to a close for today. I sign off with this song from Kofi Boham once again. It says eggs in one basket. You can throw your eggs, or you can put your eggs in one basket. Of course, it depends on who is holding that basket for you, or who you are banking your hopes or your faith in. When that song ends and you don't hear from me, it's been me, Archie, saying have a top of the day and see you all tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK.
I was told when you want to cross the road, look left, right, and left again. Look left, right, and left again. If you don't do this, you could die in pain. A motor go fit to jam you insane. Ay. But one day I saw you when you called my name, and I took no precautions to look elsewhere, cause I can never be a casualty in your hands. Oh my Jesus, say I can never be a casualty in your hands.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
I can never be a casualty in your hands. I am my safest with you. I can never be a casualty in your hands. Nobody has been. I will not be the first. I will never be. I can never be a casualty in your hands. No. risky to follow Jesus. I tell them, leave me, it's not your business. You choose to drink beer, I choose communion. You spend your money on fun, I push the kingdom. You like to follow the girls, I love to win souls. You make your sacrifice, I choose to.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Think on your own life. I have made my choice for life, and
Thanks for listening.
that best